Hello and welcome to New Game Plus. This is a very special episode as we head towards the end of the era of their final 10-year anniversary and the end of New Game Plus TV as we know it. We're taking time to sort of celebrate our run, and in this episode we're looking at some stuff that Liam, one of the editors, have really enjoyed, and we're going to start that off with a discussion with Prospect, who is, well, tell us who you are.
I'm Prospect. I'm the other editor. That's right, 300 odd episodes and we've had 2 editors, plus Kate. Yeah. Thanks, Kate. I do a lot of the editing on behind the show, I do a lot of the production stuff. That's my jam.
Yeah. And while we're having a talk, we're going to play a little bit of a board game because we like board games. And this is Royal Visit, which is a 2-player sort of tug-of-war game using cards as we try to corral the king into our chateau. It's a sort of fun, quick game. Hopefully it's not too distracting as we talk about the history of the show. I'm going to kick us off, but Prospect, when we started, so we were obviously, it was level 3, and then everyone pretty much was like, no, let's make New Game Plus. What were your experiences when we started?
What, as New Game Plus?
As New Game Plus.
Started as New Game Plus. Well, obviously, look, as much as we did make the decision to move away from level 3, we did take a lot from level 3. But there was definitely a feeling of let's do it better. Let's be more let's be more good at beating Liam at board games. Hang on. Let's be more organised. Let's be more professional. Let's get better content. Let's get it more regular content. Let's get better quality content. So that's really what drove us as I play this Joker to try and move this guy back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, this is the sort of tug of war that we're talking about. As you sort of choose which character you sort of move and play cards. I was editing the first couple of episodes where you were doing all the graphics, which is sort of a challenge in itself as we're sort of coming up with new things. Even if we had sort of an idea of what we're doing, it's still fresh and exciting and challenging. But then we had a studio, which was a house, which we were able to use a couple of rooms of, and we had 2 editing setups, like 2 computers set up, and we'd come in days and like, oh, here's this needs to be, I've done the edit, can you make it pretty? And then it would sort of go back and forwards, which was fun. And also now we're going to literally go back and forwards as I move the wizard.
Oh, well segued, Liam. Well
exactly.
segued. No. But yes, I do remember that original editing den and that original edits. Many a night spent there late into the night. And that was back in the days when we were submitting to Civ31 via DVD. So apart from all the additional process we had to do, filming, editing, capturing, whatever, we also had to do DVD mastering and get a whole big pile of DVDs. And at the end of the night was always, I'm done. Now I have to wait half an hour for this to master and burn onto a DVD before I drive into C31 at 2 a.m. in the morning to submit it the week before, definitely not the night before.
In those early days, that there was certainly, we're all really excited to try something new and sort of improve on what we'd already done. And so there was a lot of, okay, we're going to try this, we're going to try this. So, what if we had...
I'm moving the code.
Yeah, okay. Nice. I know for me, I really enjoyed the idea of I was listening to a podcast called Scene Unseen, where one person hadn't seen the movie and they were trying to be convinced or turned away, and so that turned into Would Timmy Play It, which was fun, except for the fact that Tim
Would not play it.
Yeah, because everyone else loves JRPGs and random stuff, and he's like, no, I like WoW, and I like this first-person shooter, and I like this racing game, and I don't want to play any other games.
So what, we shot, what do you reckon, about 120 Would Timmy players?
Yeah, like 15 he said he would play.
Yeah, the hit rate was about 5%, if that. Yeah, poor Tim. So moving the wizard.
So he's now in my chateau, so I'm going to get a point there.
Oh, well, good for you.
I'll get 2 guts. But I also remember, like, one of the things I really enjoy that I look fondly back, and I haven't found the footage for it in a long time, and you'll probably groan when I tell you this, but like 1 week we were like 2 minutes short, or like 1.5 minutes short, and if you were lazy, you could just add in a trailer. But we were just like, we've got some time, and LucasArts had just, the company just closed down. So we decided that we would do like an in memoriam video to it, you know, footage of Secret of Monkey Island, some of the Star Wars games and other stuff. And we sort of, it was the like, oh, let's, like, what if we did this? And then you sort of as just, and I did a rough edit, then you did it better. And then we like, and it was just a real back and forth. So like, oh, this is a great example of us working together to do something fun and a little bit different as opposed to just doing, okay, where we'll just put a trailer in. And
to this day, it's one of the better pieces we've done. Again, short and sharp, but it just hit all the right notes, and it was something creative.
I'm gonna move this.
And once we got once we had the initial format down, or doing reviews, doing event coverage, doing features, we did sort of get stuck in that rut of the formula of what we were doing. So it was nice to have that little thing out there as well.
Like many of us, I studied film and TV. I've been involved in a number of creative projects, from feature films to short films to theatre to some other community television. And there's probably about 5 or 6 things that I'm really proud of that I've done in all that stuff. There's some friends I made and some stuff that I've liked, but in terms of like really proud of, it's a small number, and I count New Game Plus as one of those. So I've really enjoyed working on the show, but more working with the people. Prospect, David, or Jason, and the rest of the crew, and so it's been a really sort of exciting and fun 10 years.
Four. 1, 2.
Wish wins you the game.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Quick, cut to camera 1. Champion!
Now that's been us playing Raw Visit, and unfortunately Prospect won, but more importantly than that was us sort of talking and reminiscing about the early days of making New Game Plus from behind the camera.
I remember things.
Yeah. One thing I've always loved about New Game Plus is the ability to share our hobbies and passions and interests. For me, that was less about video games and more about the pop culture side of it, books, movies, board games, and comics and graphic novels. We had a short-lived but a fantastic series called Graphic Content, a name we borrowed or were given by Tom Taylor of Injustice fame. We shot it at Gifts for the Geek, a comic book store in Geelong with Beeves. It starred Byrne of Cranbourne fame and their very own Jason O'Callaghan, and it was a lot of fun. And now, for the final time, Graphic Content's Jason O'Callaghan and Byrne.
The one thing that you do learn after doing 10 years of a television show is that everything goes in cycles, and however long those cycles are something that changes depending on the topic. Climate change, human relationships, everything like that. And after 10 years, we've decided to fulfill this cycle. And I'm joined, of course, by Ben from Michael Byrne, good friend of the show for many, many years, on the very first episode of New Game Plus. But also, we used to go down to see Beeve down in Gifts for the Geek and do graphic content with Liam and stuff as well. So, hey Ben, you been all right?
I've been very well. Not Tim. How have you been?
Yes, it's correct. No, it's my pancreas is still working, which is nice. That's how you know I'm not Tim. It's been, I think last time we were on camera with us was 350. We're at episode 478 or 79
Man,
or something.
time has continued to flow like the proverbial river.
That is how it does. And but I mean, like we've seen each other since. I guess maybe let's start with that. Well, you obviously life has changed. You know, you're no longer in the comic scene. You've moved on to a different form of expression, of artistic expression.
Yes.
Did you want to give us an insight into that? Insight is perhaps not the word. But...
I provide the relief of tension for the opposite sex via the medium of erotica. I use my digits to bring happiness from many miles away.
And that's it's like a sales pitch.
I've become very zen in my philosophy.
So, and that is 100% legitimately true. You write erotica on Amazon, and that's your day job. And I guess is it one of those things where it's like, you know,
Bored housewives in Idaho pay my bills.
Yeah. Like, do you never, like, you know, if you do a job you love, you never work a day in your life kind of thing, or was it just one of those things you stumbled onto and said, I'll give this a crack and see how I go?
I'm a pervert.
Yeah.
And it just seemed like a natural.
Right.
The actual. I'll tell you the real way I really got into it off camera.
All right.
But yeah,
but for the sanitized version.
Basically, I thought I'd give it a go.
Yeah, right. And I mean, you know, I'm not surprised knowing you. I'm not. I mean, yeah, it's fine.
Dirty boy.
Yeah. But I guess, you know, is it down to the metrics that determines like your writing, or is there sometimes where you're like, I'm just going to tell this particular story and see how it goes, or is there, because you do have to pay attention, because there's a lot of, you're competing in there's a lot of small fish in that pool.
It's very hard because you need to look inside your inner soul and you need to figure out a new and interesting way to say tab A in slot B.
That's the hard bit, you know. Yeah. But yeah, no. Like, I guess it would be tough because
It's very hard, Jason. Very
we're just gonna do puns for the next bit. Yeah. But I guess it's I don't know what else to say except makes sense. You know. Yeah. It's.
Again, I make thousands of women come every day, and I have the graphs to prove it. Charts, graphs, pie charts.
Whichever your pie charts.
The ones that go like that.
Yeah. Venn diagrams. Yeah. But it's funny too because
this is R-rated, isn't it?
We're okay. I think Ben TV's after us. But I guess, you know, you've moved. Obviously, you're in Gippsland now. You're in the country.
Yep.
I don't know. Like, you look back on 10 years for yourself. How do you feel? You're happy with where you are now compared to 10 years ago, or is it just kind of it's a different life?
Extraordinarily happy.
Good.
In every possible metric, my life has improved, and I'm very happy. My wife is happy. My kids are happy. The dogs are happy, and the chickens, before they died, were very happy chickens.
Why did they die from?
Old age.
Okay. We don't have to go find a foxes, do we?
No.
We can do it.
We got guns.
Yeah. But that's good. I mean, that's great. You know, I mean, like, and I guess that's, you know, after 10 years of life, and you know, you've still got some good years left in you. You're in the early 40s.
Hope so. Is there something I don't know?
Yeah. By the way, Ben, the baldness comes. No, I can make cancer jokes. I'm allowed to.
Wouldn't mind a bit of AIDS though.
Yeah.
Is AIDS funny yet?
No, it's 22 and a half years in that South Park joke. Yeah. I guess, you know, is there anything, you know, we should tell the audience, like, go check out your erotica or anything like that, or is it just a case of we're just catching up and talking?
I never released my pseudonyms.
Of course. So you'll be Mark Twain forever.
Well, the ladies like to buy erotica written by ladies, so I'm a lady. I'm not, you know, Ben Byrne erotica. I'm like Penelope Pulse Pimple.
Pulse Pimple, I like it. You thought that was just like, because you went for the rhyming slang.
Well, I learnt that apparently when you're naming cartoon characters and stuff, it's the double letter, so Ben Byrne.
Yes.
Bill Byrne.
Alliteration, yeah.
So Penelope Pulse Pimple.
Oh, there you go. I'm pretty sure that was in Wacky
Jason
Races.
Jizz.
That was from Wacky
Jason
Races,
Jizz.
I'm sure of it. There was Muttley and
There was definitely Penelope.
Yeah.
I think she was like more like heart. Something
far more, you know, sane and sanitary.
But my question to you is, how's your last 10 years been, Jason?
Look, like I say, it's a little bit melancholic looking back.
Sorry.
No, a little bit melancholic looking back on the show and stuff, but we've done some great stuff. You know, we've been to Japan a lot. Don't know if I've ever told you that, but I've been to Japan once or twice.
You said this Japanese word.
Did I? What was it?
I don't know. One of the millions that you.
Yeah, well, yeah.
That fell flat. Cut that out.
No, yeah. But yeah, no, like there was some tough years. Obviously, you know, I was always very close. I wasn't close with family particularly, but I was very close to my grandmother, and she's now gone. And you know, you look back at all that. You look back at the relationships lost and gained, and all that kind of stuff.
Would you like a soothing kiss on the forehead?
I wouldn't though. That's nice. Thank you though.
The offer's there.
I'm sure it is. But no. I'm pretty good. Life's pretty good.
Sorry.
See, our utmost professionalism.
I
I'll just
know,
keep
it's
going,
amazing.
mate.
I'm wondering if how far I'd have to go in the taint before you find something.
I remember. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's it, Ben. I don't think there's much else to say, but it's good to see you. I'm glad that everything's going well.
I would just like to say I don't make comics, but I still love to read them. I still love comics. Haven't turned my back on them.
You ever read The Walking Dead?
Not yet. No, but I have been watching the movie, and yeah, I get it now. Cranbourne, blatant rip-off. I'm sorry. I basically just rewrote The Walking Dead without zombies. Ooh.
Yeah, well, I mean...
Lord Negan, fuck off.
And on that note, I think we're done for the day.
Taking off my clothes.
Being a part of the New Game Plus crew over the years has been great. Tiring, frustrating, and exciting in equal amounts. Learning new skills, filming, chatting movies, playing Magic, getting bored of the format, sorry couch, and hanging out with friends for 10 years. I think that's a big part of why we've all stayed for as long as we have. Sure, we all like being creative and talking games, video games or otherwise, but that's only part of it. It would be easy to say that because of New Game Plus, I've been able to attend E3. Yes, I've been to E3. 2 Tokyo game shows and numerous local events and conventions. That I've been to film festivals and able to meet and interview fantastically interesting people. However, the events and interviews themselves are only part of that. The E3 I attended was part of a larger America trip I did. I got to hang out with Alice and Tim for half a week in LA. I fell asleep at the PlayStation press conference, and every year I share the photo Tim took. One of my Japan trips, Don, Prospect and I played in a Magic Team GP. We dropped while we were still live for day 2 from the tournament because we wanted to go to all-you-can-eat KFC with the whole gang. That's right, the real plus was the friends we made along the way. Please enjoy some of my favourite segments of New Game Plus. And today I'm here to talk about, wait, I've just seen the monitor, we're missing something. Quick, go to camera 2, that's it, it's the rug that ties the room together. You can't normally see it, but I always bring it out. Back to number 1.
November always means one thing for us, and that is the Japanese Film Festival is right around the corner now. In years past, it's been myself and a few others who have been seeing the movies, but it's handy because we actually have a movie guy now, so we thought we'd bring Liam in to discuss the Japanese Film Festival and specifically the films that you've seen in advance of the festival itself.
I mean, I've only been doing the daily movie reviews for 2.5 years, but sure. Hello and welcome to New Game Plus's daily movie review show. I'm your host, Liam, and I got to do a thing that I love doing on this series. I got to watch a classic movie that I should have already watched years ago. Now, I'm coming from the top of the Milan Duomo, the cathedral. Very nice. Of course, they charge to get up there because it's a tourist attraction, and the Catholic Church is never afraid of making $1. Anyway, coming from the Opera House in Milan, I've just seen a ballet. I won't be reviewing that because this is not where I was sitting. And there's a nice little villa there. Very beautiful location. Now, Winnie the Pooh is like an hour and 20-minute feature-length story. So I've continued my trend of watching documentary films, and this was today the Netflix film was All Work and All Play, which is a documentary film.
Hello, and welcome to a look back at Planeswalker Plus. I was your host, Alice Clark, and I cannot believe New Game Plus is ending. It seemed like one of those real foundational pillars of Australian video game coverage. There's been the core crew all this time, but also there's been so many people who have come through and learned their craft. And I am going to miss working with all of you on the show. I want to say a special thank you to Liam, Prospect and Donald. We have had a hell of a ride. We have had some wonderful adventures, interviewing incredible celebrities, playing board games, playing just so much Magic. I cannot emphasize how much Magic. And also doing fun quiz shows. I'm going to miss working on the show with you, but I cannot wait to see what adventures you and we get up to next. Enjoy the show.
So here we have Shane and Liam playing with the green and black decks. Our good friends at Ultra Pro have hooked up our intrepid heroes with Dragon's Maze intro decks, deck boxes, and protector sleeves. Each month, with the help of our friends at Games Lab, they're going to pimp out their decks with the hopes of eventually winning the inaugural Planeswalker Plus Monument of Achievement.
Choose your beginning phase. So I think I steal your upkeep. Don't I? No? Also, hey Prospect, while you're there, do you want to be a homunculus? No.
I'm Luis Scott Vargas, commonly known as LSV, just because my name is way too long. I got into professional Magic just because I started playing in Pro Tours and did well enough that I could get in the Pro Players Club, which is you get enough points, you start getting free flights, free hotels, and that kind of got me into it. That and the fact I really like competing.
This week we are with Kathleen and Graham, and I suppose Liam, but from Loading Ready Run. So excited.
Hello.
Hi.
You had a break after you got knocked out of Commando, those bastards.
Yes.
And you said, oh, I played Transformers. I'm like, oh, okay, Oz. And I played it, and I really enjoyed it. And it was I remember saying that was an annoyingly good game. Sometimes it's hard to get into a new card game. But I really enjoyed it. And one thing I really like is the way that they do combat. Now, we're at Brisbane Supernova, and we're joined by Felicia Day, the creator and star of the Guild, amongst many other things. Now, Felicia, can you tell us a little bit about the impact the Guild has had on popular culture?
I would like to say that it's had some impact on popular culture.
Nowadays, Game of Thrones is obviously massive.
Yeah.
And I think it's fair to say you were quite a big part of that. Can you tell me a little bit about working on the series?
When I was approached to play Lord Mormont, I hadn't read the books.
I want to entertain people with my books. That's pretty much what I want them to get out of them. The books are high-octane, outrageous, action-adventure thrillers.
It's a documentary, and it's about a haunted attraction in New Zealand that is set in a former psychiatric hospital.
I'm lucky enough today to be joined by Dave Gibbons, a comic god. How do you feel about that title? It's a big one, but I reckon you've earned it.
I feel slightly flattered.
Just a little bit. Well, that's good. Look, now I'm joined by a local boy as opposed to everybody else. Tom Taylor, you're Mr. Famous Comic Book Writer, aren't you?
Mr. Famous Comic Book Writer is actually my whole title.
I saw it on the desk over there.
Well, I was mostly inspired by theatrical animation like Bugs Bunny and the Sunday comics. So a lot of my work looks like a throwback to, I don't know, the golden age of the Sunday funnies, I guess, is the best way to describe it.
I'm Bob Morley. I play Bellamy Blake on 100.
I'm Lindsay Morgan. I play Ruben Reyes on 100.
Does root mean the same thing in the US as it does in Australia?
What does it mean in Australia?
It is perhaps another word for sexual intercourse.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never heard that,
So
but maybe, but I like that. Let's say yes. I don't know. No, I don't think so.
And it was fucking great. I really had fun. It's been a while since I've been on a go-kart, and yeah, driving 50Ks in the streets of Tokyo feels really, really fast, and it's a lot of fun. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Jason. But most of all, thank you for watching this episode, as well as any other content from New Game Plus, from graphic content, from Planeswalker Plus, from anything we've done in the past, the movie reviews. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Keep watching for Board Damn stuff in the future, but that's it.
Hello to all my friends at New Games Plus. It's me, Mario. Woohoo! You number one. Hee hee. And I'm here with the princess.